a moment of your time, just a single second, so you see that indeed we'll be leaving you behind, far across that line. Turn it up so you can hear the bells crashing through the clouds as it rained down the drain. We know all too well it's a living hell. Careful what you say and who you say it, who you say it to. Careful what you say and who you say it to. Maybe you talk too much and you're asking for it, asking for it, asking. You can blame bad luck, but you're asking for it, asking for it, asking. When all is said and done, you need to tie your tongue, 'cause when you spit on everyone, you know you're asking for it, asking for it, asking.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sports Talk. I am Brandon. We thank you for taking the time to listen to today's broadcast. We can be found on Twitter at SportsTalkCast1. SportsTalkCast1. You can follow us, and we thank you for listening to the podcast. And also, we started a Facebook page. If you go up to the little search bar on Facebook, if you type in SportsTalkCast1, you can find us there. All right, guys, let's get right into it here. Let's talk about the top news that everybody has been talking about. We'd like to give our condolences to Jose Fernandez's family. Jose Fernandez was born July 31st, 1992. He was born in Santa Clara, Cuba, and he went into play for the Miami Marlins from 2013 until this year, 2016. Jose Fernandez played his high school baseball in Tampa, Florida. He was selected in the first round of the 2011 draft. He made his debut with the Marlins in April 7, 2013. He was an All-Star in the 2013 All-Star Game. He was the National League Rookie of the Month in July and August of that year. He won the NL Rookie of the Year award, and he finished third in the Cy Young ballot. In 2014, he had Tommy John surgery, and then he turned around and made the All-Star game again in 2016. He died in a boating accident off of Miami Beach on September 25th, 2016. The Marlins announced that they would retire his uniform number to honor him. It's heartbreaking, the story to me, because Jose Fernandez was only 24 years old. He was an amazing talent for the Miami Marlins. He was one of the very bright spots in that organization. Like I said, he debuted for them back in April of 2013. His last appearance for them now would have been September 20th of 2016. The guy he was going to be great. He was a future, in my opinion, he was a future Cy Young Award winner. He was, like I said, 2-time All-Star. Probably would have been a 3-time All-Star. But in his young career, he had that Tommy John surgery. Like I said, he was just, and just listening to the stories since his passing and listening to his teammates talk about him, he was such a respected young man. Everybody seemed to love this guy. A couple of the players did come out and say they were concerned about his late-night adventures. A couple of the players from the Marlins said that when he went out on the boat, that he asked a couple of the players to come along, and they declined, and they tried to get him to decline. But that's not what this is about. This is about a great future, bright player that he already was becoming in the MLB. Jose Fernandez win-loss record was 38-17. He only gave up 2.5 runs every time he went out there. He had 589 strikeouts. The guy was just he was just something special. Every now and then a young man comes along and a pitching prospect, and you don't know what he's going to be, but Jose Fernandez showed right away what he was going to be. And it was that right away he showed the MLB world that this guy was going to be great. And even though he may have not been playing on the best team at the time, he's still garnered a lot of attention, and he's still. That's a this is a sad way to start off the show, but we just like to we want to give our condolences to Jose Fernandez and his family. Like I said, a bright young star, gone way too soon, and like I said, we'd like to carry on now with the show. And like I said, we just wanted to give our condolences there to Jose Fernandez, his family, and the Miami Marlins. All right, guys. After that, let's get into some quick NFL talk right now. J.J. Watt is now placed on the IR. There's talk that he may not return this season. There is talk that a lot of people think that this back injury may be something to this falter JJ's career. And, when he comes back, he still won't be the same JJ Watt. Here's the deal with JJ Watt. JJ Watt, before he got to Houston, they never made the playoffs. They had the 5th worst record in the NFL. Since his arrival to the Texans have won 3 division titles, and their record is 44-39. That is tied with the Colts for the best record in the AFC South. Now, J.J. Watt being injured, is that going to take the Houston Texans from being a Super Bowl team to a non-Super Bowl team? Open your eyes. The Houston Texans, come on Texans fans, you are not going to make the Super Bowl this year. It was not going to happen. You weren't going to make the Super Bowl. J.J. Watt is a beast. J.J. Watt is a heck of an athlete. And J.J. Watt is something very special. But you were not going to make the Super Bowl. You would have been lucky to make the playoffs this year. Now with J.J. Watt being gone, and if J.J. Watt does not return, Houston, you will not make the playoffs. You will not. You will not even make the playoffs. If J.J. Watt returns this year, maybe within 6 weeks, you may sneak in the playoffs, doubtfully. But if J.J. Watt does not return, you will have a losing record, and you will not make the playoffs. Because here's why, folks. J.J. Watt is the leader of this team. It's not Bill O'Brien. J.J. Watt is the heart and soul of this Texans team. I don't even really pay attention to the Texans too much because I'm not a fan, but now I pay attention so I could give you guys information. And I've watched J.J. Watt. I've watched pregame warm-ups. I've seen locker room footage of the Texans. And I've read stories online. J.J. Watt is the heart and soul of that Houston Texans team. It's not Brock Osweiler. It's not Bill O'Brien. It's not DeAndre Hopkins. It's J.J. Watt. So what happens whenever you guys... Well, I can hear now, you people are probably going, oh, wait a second. You guys lost Tom Brady. The Patriots lost Tom Brady. And the Patriots are done fine. Oh, then they lost Jimmy. Okay, here's the deal. Tom Brady kind of got his hand showed because Tom Brady still is great. But Bill Belichick is the reason that the Patriots are great. Bill Belichick. And let me tell you, Texans fans, you're not great because of Bill O'Brien. You're great because of J.J. Watt. The leader of this football team, the one that gets them fired up, the one that gets their fire burning, gets the ember stoked, that's J.J. Watt. So, like I said, without J.J. Watt, Texans won't make the playoffs, and if J.J. Watt ends up missing the entire season, say he will not. They will not make the playoffs. Alright, like I said, if you guys want to get on the Twitter machine and leave us some comments, or tweets, at SportsTalkCast1 about what you guys think about J.J. Watt. I'll be glad to hear from you if you guys think that the Texans will still make the playoffs with J.J. Watt. Get on there and let me know. Let me know if you think the Texans are going to make the playoffs without J.J. Watt. Or if you don't think J.J. Watt is the heart and soul of this team, the fire that that gets this team ignited, then just let me know. If you guys think I'm totally off on this, give me feedback. I want some feedback because I think I'm right. Bill O'Brien is trash to me. Bill O'Brien is garbage. I don't think Bill O'Brien is an NFL head football coach. Like I said, I think that this team pretty much, the leader, the one that gets these guys fired up is J.J. Watt. So we'll see what the Texans will do. Alright. Also, in NFL talk, what do you guys think about Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott has been awesome. He's been pretty great. But there's another man that I want to talk about who, in my opinion, has been even greater. And I did not see this coming. I didn't believe that I would hear Carson Wentz, his name, on SportsCenter when I turn on as much as what I have. Carson Wentz has been off the chain good. He hasn't been great, but he hasn't been bad. He's just been good. Carson Wentz was drafted out of North Dakota State University by the Eagles, but then they were told that Sam Bradford probably still would have had the job. And like I said, Carson has kind of proven a lot of people that it was a good idea. It's kind of that's the Sam Bradford Carson Wentz trade has kind of worked out pretty good for everybody. I mean, Sam Bradford's doing his thing over there with the Vikings, and I don't know when I don't know when Teddy Bridgewater gets back if Bradford's going to give up that job, because Bradford's looked pretty good. But out of all the rookies, I have to say that Carson Wentz is the best pick. I bet you Phil Funny LA for not taking this man. While your man hasn't even started a game, Carson Wentz is 3-0 with the Philadelphia Eagles and Doug Peterson. So let's see. They since with Carson they're 17th in the league with 250 yards of passing. So like I said, Carson, not great, but he's not bad. He's good. Carson Wentz, the kid, I think, is for real. So let's go on here and talk about Jared Goff, who was drafted before him. Like I said, Jared Goff, tisk tisk Rams, tisk tisk, because you missed out on Carson Wentz. Because why Jared Goff is sitting, Carson Wentz is doing his thing, managing football games, not having turnovers, making smart plays, having a QBR 68.9, and throwing 5 touchdown passes. Like I said, the Rams, whenever they drafted Jared Goff, I thought they were crazy. I thought Carson Wentz was the real deal. I thought he wasn't gonna come into his own just fast. But the man got named Offensive Player of the Week last week when he threw for 300 yards and two TDs against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It wasn't no powder puff team. It wasn't the freaking Cleveland Browns or the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we know the Pittsburgh Steelers are no powder puff. And Carson Wentz took him to the woodshed. Just like Trevor Siemian. Played against the Bengals. Took the Bengals to the woodshed. 4 TDs. He got AFC Player of the Week, by the way. Offensive Player of the Week. By the way. This week, he did. So like I said, the 2 quarterbacks, in my opinion, who's made the most noise and got the most attention since the beginning of the season, is Carson Wentz and Trevor Siemian. 2 unproven guys, a rookie and a second-year guy that comes in here. All right. So like I said, Carson Wentz has impressed me the most. Dak Prescott. Dak has impressed me somewhat. Dak has Ezekiel Elliott, though. And Ezekiel Elliott has been going hard. Ezekiel Elliott has looked great. I'd say the best. I can't say that Dak's the best rookie that I've seen. Whenever Ezekiel Elliott on his own team is better than him. The Cowboys are 2-1. Dak's threw for about 250. Also, that's about 16th in the league. And say I'm sorry, that was their average. I'm sorry. And Ezekiel Elliott has ran for 274 yards in the first 3 games. He's had 71 carries and 2 touchdowns. But boy, did Zeke Elliott look good against, excuse me, I got a frog in my tooth. But did Ezekiel Elliott look good in the last game that the Cowboys played? I'm having to bring against the Bears. I'm sorry, they played the Bears. So it took me. I was hesitating. Sorry, you guys. I was having a stutter epidemic. I was just trying to buy some time. I forgot who they played. I had to look it up. It was the Bears, the god awful Bears. But Zeke still put on a game. So, the rookies. This rookie class, looking back at the draft, I don't think a lot of us thought was going to be that great. It's turned out to be one of the better classes, I think, so far, with guys coming in and making impacts right away. I believe that is true. Alright, guys. We're going to take just a short break right here. And then hang on. We're not going to take a break yet. Let's go ahead and get into fantasy football here. Fantasy football. My teams are now 1-2. Thank you to C.J. Anderson, who didn't get many yards this week. And thank you to Antonio Brown, who I thought was a great steal when I got him in the 3rd pick in my draft. But now we see Antonio Brown wasn't as great as a steal as what I thought. Alright, but here we go. Here's who I think. And you guys are probably like, why do I want to listen to this guy? He just said you got Antonio Brown, C.J. Anderson. They didn't do anything. Marvin Jones. Odell Beckham, Julio Jones, Antonio Brown. What? Marvin Jones is the number 1 receiver right now in fantasy football. He's the number 4 most productive fantasy player overall. This guy was ranked number 32 across the board in the preseason rankings for fantasy drafts. But Marvin Jones has been doing work. He has 6-catch, 205-yard performance in week 3. And I said he's the number 1 fantasy wideout. So if it's possible, which I doubt it is in very many leagues, for you to pick up Marvin Jones, go get that man. Go get Marvin Jones. Also in the wide receiver category, Terrell Pryor, who has been doing everything for the freaking Browns. Running back, wide receiver, quarterback, cornerback, you name it, Terrell Pryor has been everywhere. I have Terrell Pryor on one of my fantasy teams, and I didn't start him last week. I had a feeling that Terrell Pryor, if the Browns was halfway mediocre, better than a darn lingerie football team, I thought Terrell Pryor could do some work. And Terrell Pryor carried the ball 4 times for 21 yards and caught 8 of 14 passes for 144 yards. Making him the 3rd player in the last 25 years to throw 2 passes, catch 2 passes, and rush twice in a game. And he even played safety. He played safety in that game. But my opinion is, keep Terrell Pryor available. And when you see the Browns playing just as crappy as a team as what they are, and before Josh Gordon gets back, or even when maybe Josh Gordon gets back, but maybe you guys should go pick up Terrell Pryor, put him on the bench, pay attention to the schedules, see when they're playing somebody crappy, stick Pryor in there. Chances are he's going to rack you up some points. Pryor's looked decent this year. He went from being a quarterback to a wide receiver with the smoothest transition I think I may have ever seen from anybody switching positions. But Terrell Pryor, as you all know, I'm a Ohio State fan. Love my Bucks. The dude is a heck of an athlete. And he's definitely done pretty good on making the change. And I think that big things are to come. Maybe if he gets out of Cleveland, bigger things will come. But right now, I think that he will be all right. All right, and another one. This guy's on my team. He's a starter. A lot of people said that he wouldn't be a starter. But I got DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray had his first 100-yard game with Tennessee on Sunday against the Raiders. He's got 245 rushing yards this year, but the dude has 17 receptions, the most of any other running back in the NFL right now, for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. This man is a workhorse. I said, against the Raiders, he had 114 yards, 6 carries, for only 14 yards between the tackles. But outside the tackles, he had 10 carries for 100 yards. Give this man some handoffs and let him bust it outside because DeMarco Murray still has it. Ladies and gentlemen, go pick up DeMarco Murray. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. DeMarco's put up more points already than C.J. Anderson. For me, because I have both of them in my team. I got C.J. and DeMarco has outworked C.J. So, go get DeMarco. Because look, they play the Texans without J.J. Watt next week. Then the Dolphins. Then the Browns. Then the Chargers. Then it comes the Broncos. Week 14, maybe sit his butt. Because the Broncos, I don't think he's going to do so great against them. But, yeah, right now he is projected to end the season as the number 2 running back overall. And, here's the thing. Here's the guy that I don't know about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, the verdict on Russell Wilson is don't count on him. Don't count on Russell Wilson. He had that late surge in fantasy in 2015 that put him at the end of the season rankings as one of the best. But, yeah, watching Russ Wilson this year, just the guy don't look like he's the same Russ Wilson. All right, guys, we're going to take a short break. We will be right back.
Right up in the middle of it's where you finding me at. Labels wanna holler, this is where they signing me at. Cause my city told me they need me, so I'm grinding for that. Same clothes, same street, same chuck, same feet. Same kid that used to be mopping the floors of every week. I paid the cost to be the boss, let's just say I ain't cheap. Cause now the same kids living off a check from their beat. I'm from the Midwest, where they don't forget where they from. Where they representing they home, mine is tatted on my arm. And I'll forever be about it, long as air is in my lungs. Speaking to you is the kid, and I'm as real as they come. I made $1 out of cents, got a whole nation respect. Before I was 18 and I did that without a check. See, I used to be a lame, now I'm posted in the game in the top spot.
Top drop, money ain't a thing.
He puts it all on the line. Yeah. All right, guys, welcome back. All right, let's go ahead. We got 3 more subjects to dive into here. I know this podcast, this seems to be dragging out. You guys are thinking, oh man, this guy's he acts like he's tired. I am tired. I've been working the night shift again, but I'm back here doing these podcasts. I'm going to do them every Wednesday. I told you guys I was going to do them every Wednesday. I'm going to stick to my word and do these things every Wednesday. Let's get into the MLB. My Boston Red Sox could have clinched last night. They could have clinched the division, but they lost to the damn Yankees. Come on. I watched that game, and I turned it off, and I had to come home. I had to drive. I was watching on my phone. I had to drive and come home, and then I came out of nowhere. Bless me. I came out of nowhere. I didn't get a time to pop. Woo. Alright, that came out of nowhere. I'm sorry for that sneeze. We're going to leave it on here. I'm not going to edit it. We're going to leave it. This happens. It happens on podcasts. People just throw sneezes out. Oh, I might have another one. Hold on. We're going to pause this for just a time. Okay. We're back. I did have to pause. I sneezed again. I'm sorry. I feel like I got another sneeze coming on. It's crazy. But alright, the Red Sox got beat by the Yankees. But the Red Sox are still 5 games up on Toronto, 7 games up on Baltimore. The Yankees, sorry, you're not going to make it. You're 11 games back. And Tampa Bay, 27 games back. All right, so if Boston wins or Toronto loses, this is for today's game. We play the Yankees again. They play Baltimore. If Toronto loses, we clinch. If we win, we clinch the division. But we already clinched the playoff spot. Now let's go down to the Central. The Cleveland Indians are 91-66. They clinched. They're the Central champions. I said it on a previous podcast. Cleveland, what is up with you guys? Cleveland's winning. You guys need to put some of that mojo on the Browns, because the Browns, they still ain't winning. But Cleveland has won the Central. The Texas Rangers, they have also won their division. They won the West at 93-65. Going into the National League, Washington, it was 92-65, looking pretty good. They won the East. The Cubbies, 101 games. This is the Chicago Cubs, people. What's going on? The Cubbies, winners of the Central. Also, the Dodgers, they won the West. Surprise, surprise. The Central is something's got to be. Here's the thing with the Central. It used to be you had St. Louis and Pittsburgh. That's the only division that's really changed. You still got St. Louis up there, but the Cubbies are now on top of the Central. The West hasn't changed. It's been for a while. The Dodgers, San Fran. The Dodgers, San Fran. Same with the East. It's been Washington, Mets, Washington, Mets, Washington, Mets. So, I think the National League is kind of the most boringest league for me. Because when you go up to the West, you had Texas, Seattle, and Houston, and LA, who's all been in the playoffs in recent times. In the Central, you had Detroit, Kansas City, the White Sox, and now Cleveland have all been in the playoffs in recent times. And in the East, Boston, Toronto, Baltimore, Yanks have all been in the playoffs in recent memory. So like I said, National League, get it together. Because I don't remember the last time I seen the Braves or Cincinnati or Arizona in the playoffs. But I just want to refresh everybody's memory and tell everybody that I have the Boston Red Sox and Cleveland Indians in the championship game if the brackets end up working out that way. And I also have the Nats and the Cubs in the National League championship game. And pardon me if I said National League earlier. I meant American League when I was talking about the Cubs, or talking about, man, I can't talk, I'm getting flustered. I'm talking about the Red Sox and whatever, the Red Sox and the Indians. And now the Cubs and the Washington. Man, you guys are done turning the podcast off. I'm done doing it. This show has been a struggle for me to get through. Man, it's been a struggle. But Washington, Cubbies, if the brackets play out that way where this is possible, that's who I got. And I got Chicago winning the whole darn thing. Mark my words. The Cubs will win the World Series. As bad as I like to say Boston will make it, it's going to be Cubs and Indians, I believe. And I believe that the Cubbies are going to be your World Series champions. And Chicago is going to burn down. Alright. So we're just going to touch on that. And the wild card right now, let's hit that up real fast before we get out of MLB. I know a lot of people don't like talking MLB. But right now the wild card would be Toronto and Baltimore for the AL. 1 game back is Detroit, 2 games back Seattle, 2.5 back is Houston. Yankees are 4 back. They're not mathematically out of it, but they kind of are. And that means that Kansas City is almost out of it. Kansas City loses one more time, they're out. And then we go down to the Mets and San Francisco. St. Louis is 1 game back. Miami is 5 games back. They have been eliminated after losing last night. I think we already talked about Miami. And just thinking about that team after the Jose Fernandez thing and the boating accident, and it's just a terrible situation. And we're just thinking about them. I would have loved to see them maybe make the playoffs, but they have been eliminated. But so it's down to the Mets, San Francisco, and St. Louis. That's kind of a nice heat right there. And we also I'd like to say that I think the St. Louis is going to bump San Fran, and it'll be the Mets and St. Louis. All right, enough about baseball. Baseball, I love baseball, but it bores a lot of people. And it seems to be boring me today talking about it. I don't know why. Bear with me. Just listen. I thank you guys for listening. You guys are awesome. Like I said, we've reached our 200 listeners. I don't know why, because they're listed. Hang on. Let's talk about something. You guys have been awesome. You listened to me. This guy who stutters, spits around, goes like this all the time. But this is just real. This is a guy who loves. This is just a guy who loves sports, taking 45 minutes out of his day just to talk sports, so you guys can listen to something different. I just give a real opinion on everything that I believe. My opinions. Some of the times I know I throw stuff out there that is wrong because I didn't do the proper research. But a lot of times my stuff is right. And I just appreciate you guys for listening to me. This is just a real show. Just a regular dude who loves sports, talking sports, letting you guys listen. And like I said, I appreciate the feedback, the messages I get, everything. Alright, let's hit right now, real fast, on Les Miles. Les Miles was fired. Ooh, that's new news to everybody. Les Miles was fired. Ooh, where's it at? Well, you know what? This was a long time coming. I've been sitting there wondering when LSU was going to cut loose Les Miles. Les Miles in 2015 went 9-3. Then they went 8-5. And then 10-3, 10-3 in 2012. Till 2011 they lost in the BCS National Championship game. Here's the thing. In 2008 and 2009, I also like to mention that he was 8-5 and 9-4. While he's been at LSU, he has had a record of 114 wins and 141 wins and 55 losses. You can't do that. You can't do that when you got Alabama in the SEC. Can't do it, Les. And you know it, Les. You know it was coming. Nick Saban and Alabama's in your division. You cannot be having records like that. Yes, back in 2007, you won a national title. You brought your team back in 2011. But out of all the divisions, the conferences, in college football, you should know that the SEC is the top. And coaches get their heads chopped off every year because people want to win. Unless you're Vanderbilt and you freaking keep Derek Mason forever, which I don't know. Vanderbilt's different. They just don't want to win. But let's see. Tennessee, stay with Butch Jones. It looks like it could be working out this year for him. But Les, come on, man. Tennessee looks like they're legit this year. You have Alabama. You have teams like Auburn, who are usually pretty good. Florida. Texas A&M. Arkansas looks legit this year. You have to win. I don't know, to me, if it looks like you lost your passion. But, man, I think it's just time that you moved on. I think LSU did a great thing. Hopefully, you guys can find you a coach. You know who I think is going to come coach LSU? You guys think? Get the cameras out. Get the cameras out. because there's going to be a press conference at the end of the season to announce that Jimbo Fisher will be the coach of LSU. Of course, Jimbo's came out, and Jimbo said that it's not true. He's not interested. Nobody from LSU's contacted him. Jimbo, you are going to LSU. Trust me. Oh, didn't mean to hit that. Meant to hit this one. There we go. Uh-oh. All right. Then also yesterday, let's not talk too much about college football, but hang on. We're going to do my college football upset pick here. But we still got 9 minutes. Let's talk about USC 205. USC 205, where Conor McGregor will fight Eddie Alvarez in a champion versus champion match. I'm a little disappointed in this because I wanted to see Conor. I love Conor. Everybody knows that I love Conor. But I wanted to see Conor fight Aldo. Come on, man. Let him defend the freaking belt. But I like this match. I think that Conor said in the press conference yesterday that Mystic Mac predicts that he will knock him out in the first round. And I had no reason not to agree. Eddie Alvarez, I think that it will be... He can wrestle. He likes to wrestle. Conor's not the best wrestler. But Conor showed to me against Nate Diaz that he could block takedown attempts left and right. He blocked a lot of takedown attempts by Nate. And Eddie, here's the thing. Nate Diaz is a far better wrestler than you. And Conor put him away at a bigger weight class. So, Eddie, I'm sorry. I think you're going to drop the belt. I think you need to quit running the mouth. I watched that press conference. He was trying to run your mouth a little too much. Can't run your mouth against the Mystic Mac. Because I think Conor will knock this guy out in the first round. That's my opinion. And then, also on this card, Tyron Woodley, who got booed. Booed like crazy. The dude got booed like crazy. I don't know why New York didn't like. He's from New York, right? I think it's just because you beat Robbie Lawler. People just hate you. You can't beat Robbie Lawler. He fights Wonder Boy Stephen Thompson. From what I've seen from Tyron Woodley against Robbie Lawler, that was no fluke. I believe that as much as I like Stephen Thompson, I think Tyron Woodley will win this fight. Also on this card, I'm going to butcher the hell out of these names, but Joanna Jędrzejczyk, the strawweight champion, and Karolina Kowalskiuk. You guys know who I'm talking about if you watch UFC. I bet you don't laugh at me because I bet you a lot of you can't even pronounce Joanna's name. I can pronounce her first name. But I believe that she will win this fight. I believe that she is by far on her own level as strawweight competition. I think that she will put away Karolina Kowalskiuk. Sorry. That she will put her away. And also in the main pay-per-view card, you have Chris Weidman against Yoel Romero. And I believe that Weidman may be in trouble in this fight because Weidman's never fought anybody like Romero. I don't think he has. And I believe Romero will win this fight because you want to know why? His key is KO, TKO is 82%. 82%. This guy throws bombs, Weidman. Come on, Weidman. Why did you agree to this fight? You just lost to Rockhold. You needed the redemption fight. And Yoel Romero, don't think that's going to give it to you, bud. But let's talk about the rest of this card real fast. It also has Donald Cerrone against Calvin Gastelum. Cerrone, Gastelum. Gastelum's been on a tear. We'll see. I ain't going to call that one. That one's too hard. Khabib against Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, folks. Michael Johnson. I believe that Khabib runs through Michael Johnson. Then you got Miesha Tate coming back, baby. Cupcake Tate against Raquel Pennington. Miesha, get back on the win wagon. Get this win, baby girl. You're going to take it. Then one of my favorite fights, Frankie Edgar against Jeremy Stephens. And I have Frankie winning that one. Frankie is mad. After the Aldo fight, Frankie, go get him, killer. Then fellow veteran himself, Tim Kennedy, comes back to fight Rashid Evans. I got Tim Kennedy coming back, knocking Rashid out. If he's in shape, which I'm sure this badass mother effer is, I got Tim Kennedy beating Rashid Evans. This is all in the prelims for free, people. And then Bostic versus Natal. I got Natal winning that one. I got Jim Miller taking down Diego Alves. I got, I don't know. I ain't gonna call that one yet. And then you got Liz Comanche against Caitlin Chohikin, and I got Comanche winning that one. All right, we're down. Okay, we flew through them real fast. But I just want to say this card. I just want to put that card out there. It's not till November, but this card's stacked. The prelims is stacked. Your freaking prelim got Donald Cerrone. You got Khabib and Johnson, Tate and Egner and Kennedy. Come on. That's freaking a pay-per-view card right there. That's Dana White. Bravo. This bravo. Bravo, because this card is better than UFC 200. Come on, man. NYC. All right, guys. Let's get into my upset pick for college football. Okay, Thursday, you guys are going to see Houston at Connecticut. Can't pick that as an upset. Stanford plays Washington. Nah, can't pick that as an upset. Notre Dame at Syracuse. Notre Dame's been sucking. Arkansas, Florida, Vandy. All right. Here's the deal. Here's how I'm going to go out on a limb and be crazy right now, because I'm going to say that Vanderbilt beats Florida in Nashville. There's still 591 freaking tickets for sale, but I'm going to say Vandy beats Florida in Nashville. I may go to this game. It's this right down the road. There's 591 tickets, they say, for sale. But I also might catch the Predators' first preseason game. NHL hockey, preseason, it started. I love NHL. We don't talk enough about it on this show because a lot of people ain't interested in it like I am. But, the Preds split a series last night against the Florida Panthers. But, I might go to this game if I can end up going. Vandy plays Florida, 11 a.m. You can watch it on the SEC Network Saturday. Vandy's look terrible, but Florida just came off a freaking dominating win after they finally got their crap together by the Tennessee Vols. And they also don't have their quarterback. I think it's crazy, but I like picking crazy upsets. I seen it, and it stuck out to me for some reason. I haven't been right all year, but let's go ahead. Let's book it. Vandy beats Florida. Yeah, you guys are like, this guy is freaking nuts. He just picked Vandy to beat freaking Florida. All right, guys. Thank you for taking the time for joining us again today. I've had fun talking. I am tired. I'm sorry if I sound tired. But like I said, I worked all night. But I'm putting these podcasts out to you. Thank you, guys. 200 listeners. I appreciate it. Hopefully get more. We're in talks to having our first guests come on the show. It's going to be great. He's you guys might have heard of him. He's a wrestler, so you guys might know him. We might have him on the show here. We're trying to work out those deals. And like I said, go follow us on Twitter. Please go follow us on Twitter. I've only had 2 new followers in the last week. That's crazy. Go follow us on Twitter at Sports Talkcast 1. Sports Talkcast 1. Go to the Facebook bar. Type in Sports Talkcast 1. Find us on Facebook. All right, guys. I'm tired. We talked a little bit of everything. And we just, like I said, we want to close the show out one more time. Our condolences go out to Jose Fernandez and his family and the whole Miami Marlins organization. It was so sad. It was just such a situation I did not expect to wake up to and see in the morning. That guy was such a bright talent. We hope you guys enjoy some football this weekend. We hope that you guys all have a good rest of the week. We thank you. We'll talk to you later. Thank you for listening, and I'm out.
Can I have a moment of your time? Just a single second so you see that indeed we'll be leaving you behind. Far across that line.